Back to the show, guys. It's your boy DJ Blizzard, Greenlight, aka Greenlight Blast. You already know. We out here today, and I just want to continue on the tutorials. And today I was going to talk about what you do once you hit level 30. I know I didn't go over some like other basics of the game, like little things on how to access certain menus, or like how to add a person on the game, like Endgame, or invite them to a group. But I will go over that possibly in this video, but mostly just want to go over how you level up. Now I don't have necessarily a new level 30, so I'm just going to explain it to you guys the best way I can. Alright, so to start off, while you're leveling, like I said, when you're leveling up, the quickest way to get level 30, invite your friends, make sure you do all the side missions and all the main missions, and just keep going. Like, you don't have to wait and hear what they have to say for each mission or anything like that. Just like run through everything. Is just try to be quick and efficient, and you should be able to get to level 30 within a day, maybe two. It's not hard to level up at all. And I don't think I touched up on this, and I don't know if I have one on this character, but they give you a XP booster. Your XP is how you level up. So if you see the bar under my powers that kind of looks purple, that's your XP. Once you hit level 30, there is no more XP for you to get. Therefore, that XP is irrelevant at that point. So you don't need that bar. Like, you can switch to skill points, because you can get skill points no matter what level you are, what CR you are. You can always get skill points. I'm not sure what the cap is on skill points right now, but whatever it is, it won't be like that for long when they come out with the new update that's going to completely switch the game. So if you're not already like getting used to the game now, then it's going to be probably a little difficult when they switch the game. At the same time, it could be a little bit easier for you. I don't know, it's up to you and up to the person. But back to what I was saying, they give you an XP booster, and it basically allows you to level up quicker and get more XP for each mission. So I recommend, because leveling up 1 through 22, about 22, 23 is very easy. I recommend that you don't use that XP plus booster until you hit like 23, because once you get in the 20s, the leveling up slows down. Like, you don't get as much XP. Well, I think you do actually, but it takes a lot more XP to hit the next level. So it's easier to get to level 30 if you use the XP booster then, which will just help you get to level 30 quicker. But it does last for a certain amount of time. I'm not sure how long it lasts. I think it lasts for like a good like 4 hours, maybe something like that. So just like when you do use it, make sure it's a day that you want to play, so that you can just run through all the missions and use that XP booster to its full potential. But I definitely don't forget to do those side missions, especially along with your main missions, okay? Because you get these things called marks of victory, alright? Because once you hit level 30, it's all about gear. That's it. That's all you're gonna do now. So we're leveling up. You're focused on gear and just getting the highest CR, which is 190 right now. So you're just focused on trying to get to there. That's your goal. That's what you want to do once you hit level 30, to be the best of the best, and just be able to run through everything. That's the point. So there's currency. So see it in the tabs. I went and clicked R1 till I got the currency. So there's stabilizers and stabilizer fragments right now, which is a part of the events and time capsules that they added into the game. Right now we have accordion time capsules, and so these will be used for. Then there's Mark of Valor. This is for PvP gear. And then Mark of Victory. This is for the PvE gear. This is what I'm going to focus on today. Mark of Legends is for legend. So like when you play Legends, you can buy your Legends in game with this currency. And then Sand Dollar, and there's a whole bunch of other currencies that are all from events, which are seasonal events. So like the winter or spring, summer. Pretty sure sand is from summer, so it just depends what type of seasonal event it is. They all have their own currency for that specific time. But today we're going to focus on marks of victory because we're talking about trying to raise your CR and gear. So as you level up 1 through 30 and you're doing side missions and main missions, the side missions give you a mark of victory and it adds up. But the main missions give you some too at the end, and then as well once you hit level 30 and you complete like becoming a part of the Justice League Association, they give you like another 20 or 10, I think, or 15, somewhere around there, 10 to 20. And if you done like at least most of them, maybe not all of them, but most of the side missions, you'll end up with about like 95. I've ended with like about 98 once, and the most you can get is 100. So I ended about like 98 once I hit level 30 by doing all my side missions and main missions. So once you hit level 30, there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, tier 8. That's how many tiers of gear are out right now. Tier meaning like a set amount, like this goes from this to this. You know, it's like different levels. That's what it is. It's like different levels of gear. So, in each wing, if you go to the right side, all right, so when I be my right side, see, look over there, to the left, middle, right. So for each wing, all right, meta, magic, or tech, you go to the right side and you will find tier 1 PvE gear. Actually, yeah, you'll find tier 1 PvE gear. Yeah. So, in case you can't find it or you forget, all right, you could click on one of the wings if you wanted to and find and look, but you don't have to. You can just go like this, right, and go down, and it will literally show you the different tier gear and where it is. So you just gotta go all the way down and see. Look, it has CR PvE 57, 46. CR 46 would be tier 1. This would be tier 2, tier 3 ish, and then CR 80 is tier 8, or no, my fault, tier 5. Wow, I'm tripping. That's low tier 5, and this is tier 3 slash tier 2. Tier 1, that's tier 3 more. 71's more tier 3. So, and could be tier 4. I guess actually this would be tier 4. Look at the gear. Yeah, this gear in here is really more tier 4 gear right here. So I guess you can say all the gear. I just say tier 2, tier 3 because technically when you get this gear, you can do like once you like finish it, you're doing like tier 3 missions. So like I call it tier 3, but necessarily it's tier 2. So just so I won't confuse you guys, we're just gonna call that tier 2. So basically it's really easy to get it in each wing, alright? On the right side will be your tier 1. In the middle will be a tier 2, and on the left side and certain ones will be tier 3 and then tier 4. And then one wing, which I think the tech wing, has neither. So your magic and your metal wing will be the ones with tier 3 and tier 4 gear. So that's where you go for those. Then tier 5 gear, you have to go to a certain area, which I'm gonna go to right now. I'm just showing you guys all the spots you can buy gear. Alright. So you can come here, the Mogos Command Center. There's tier 5 here, and I'm pretty sure not there. Here you can also buy like, this would be probably low tier 6, tier 5 gear. And here I'm not sure, I'm not even high enough. Yeah, this would be tier 6 gear right here. And then as well as Amazon right here, this would be tier 6. And when you get to, or tier, this is all tier 6 slash tier 7 actually. I forgot about that to say that. This is all tier 6 and tier 7 for like for there. That's mostly tier 7 there. as well as new Genesis. That's more like tier 7 gear that you would buy. And when you get to a certain TR, you can come back to Mogo and you can get the blue lynching gear, I think, and you get the tier 7 gear from, you can get it from here too. And then tier 8 gear, mostly you, until you get to a certain level, you have to probably, oh wait, actually there is another spot I'm forgetting, sorry guys, that really has most of the tier 7 gear you'll probably end up buying. Let me go there. It's in the tech wing, so I'm gonna go to the tech wing right quick, and we're gonna go look at where you would get most of your tier 7 gear, because once you hit to a certain level, literally this is all you go to buy all your gear. I'm not at that level yet, but I'm just gonna show you guys the area. So it's right here. This is all your tier 7 leading into tier 8, and this would be low tier 8 right here. If you get to this one, you'll be in like low tier 8. But when you get the high tier 8, like the real tier 8 gear, basically like how you get to 190, which is tier 8, would be an Typhoon's Monster Invasion, which is also near the Amazonian battle zone. I forgot what it's called. Let's go look. Amazon Fury Teleportation Hub, sorry. So if you hold down, it doesn't show it for me, so these would be the only two you will see. And then when you get to that tier 8, you'd go to a separate one, which is Typhoon. Alright, and just FYI, when you get to that level, you're running on a different currency. Like everything leading up to that runs on Marks of Victory, but once you get to that, you run on a different currency at that point. So you have to go in, there's missions in there I recommend doing, like, you know, like solos and stuff like that, and you have to run all your daily content, because you can't, there's not as much things to run for you and ways to get currency, so you have to like constantly do it if you want to get your gear. But so once you hit level 30, I'm gonna explain like a quick way to try to like get through tier 1 really quickly. So if you did what I told you guys to do, and so you have 98 or just in the 90s, alright, what I would usually do is buy a chest and a leg when I'm at tier 1, but I don't recommend doing that anymore. What I would recommend you guys doing would be buying like the cheapest things first. So I would say like buy a necklace, buy a face, buy like a back, and then if you have enough, buy like a ring. And with all three of those, and maybe something else if you have enough, maybe something else, maybe like a trinket or anything else you have enough for, or say you had enough for another ring, get another ring. If you get two, it doesn't matter if you had enough. But first get a face, neck, and a back, and one ring, hopefully. And if you have enough, buy something else. Like if you have enough for a trinket, buy that trinket. Or if you have enough for the boots or hands or waist after, buy one of those. But if you don't, then don't worry about it. But if you do have enough for like at least a ring, get 2 rings at that point. But that will like boost your CR from 30 or whatever your gear is. Kind of, it necessarily isn't always 30 when you first hit level 30. It could be like 33, 35, but you're trying to get to 43. When you get to 43, there's a spot I'll show you guys where you can kind of skip over gear, and it's in Gotham, or you kind of like skip over tier 3 so you can get in tier 4 right away. But it's kind of like hard, and you need to have a DLC for it. So at the same time, I always say it's hard, like if you don't have someone that's high, and as well if you don't, it doesn't always drop everything you need, so it'll give you repeats sometime. So like and it takes a while because you have to wait for the boss to build up. So it's, you know, time efficient if you queue up as you're waiting for the boss to build up, and then run through your queues and come back and it'll be built up, stuff like that. Basically once you do that, it'll get you, if anything, probably like CR40, CR42. That's usually where I get to, and I run a couple things on my CR43, and then I keep on going. I'm gonna go into a mission right, or show you guys a gameplay of me playing one of my tiers on this account. It's called Throne of the Dead, okay, and it's a tier 6 mission. Let me look. I'm pretty sure it's tier 6. Don't know. Yeah, it's a tier 6 mission, okay? And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm at tier 6. And basically, the way you get gear, that's the only time you do this, alright? It's the only time you really do this, where you get a whole bunch of gear like that at once. Otherwise than that, there's a certain way you should probably go about getting your gear. Now, back in the day, we would the way DC players were, we always told you, like, the best way that you were supposed to do gear was buy all of it and then move on to the next one. But because we had like this idea that if you didn't buy all of it, you wouldn't get the most stats as possible. And I'm not sure whether or not that is true or not. It possibly could be, but there's always there's like, you know, skill points and the gear itself. You should be okay. You shouldn't have to, you know, be worried. Plus it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It can get kind of boring trying to buy every single piece of gear. So it's just easier to kind of try to, you know, skip your way through certain tiers and just like fly through it without having to put in as much work. So this is the only time, okay, you guys will buy that many pieces. After that, like even right now, right, if I was to go do a mission, you always want to look at your gear, right? So most of my gear is, I think, 94, 95. All right, I have this 100 and this 100, right, and this 99, okay? So obviously I'm gonna get all my gear, like, you know, with 100 or 100 plus, or at least like 98. Like I think this one, yeah, like 98, and my rings, which are 98 as well too. And so I see 95. This is 94, 94, 94, right? So when I go into a mission and I'm doing my alerts or raids or whatever, I want to try to look at my gear and see what is my lowest piece of gear and what I need to put on to help raise my CR. So see how this is 98, but this is 94, 94, 94, 95. So what I would probably end up doing, like this is 96 and this is 95, I would want to get all my 94s up first, right? So it's like, say I had a drop and it gave me choose between a neck piece and a head piece, and it gave me a higher like CR than both of them, but it gave me I'm gonna go with the head because my head is lower than my neck, so it would help me raise my CR up quicker because I'm getting rid of my lower pieces. Because it's higher, it's giving me more points towards my CR being higher. I don't know how to necessarily phrase that, but so that's how you guys want to do it. And if you ever get in a situation where, like, say you got a chest and a back and they're both 94, but you got they gave you something that's higher for both, then, you know, it's up to you whichever one you kind of want. I kind of like try to base this off of what drops more. So like for me, or like what costs more, because they cost more to buy like chest and the leg, the head, the weapons, and then everything else is kind of cheap, but those cost the most. Like they're the most expensive pieces. So I would always, like, if I had to choose between a chest and a back and they're the same level right now, I would go with the chest because I know it's going to cost more and I would have a better chance of getting the marks of victory to buy a back than I would to buy a chest piece. It just makes things quicker. You want to think about time efficiency. You know, you want to think about how, you know, you want to do this as well as possible. You know, you want to build it up to the best of your abilities, and the way to do that is to pay attention. You know, so like I said, get a chest and then buy a back if that was your, like, if you were in that situation. But I'm gonna show you guys the situation I had, where this is when I got my gear. So my shoulders and my ring, as you can see right here, it was 95 and 94. Alright, so I'm gonna go show you guys the mission and show you guys what I did and how I changed my gear up and everything like that. And before I do that, just the last thing to say real quick is, while you're doing this, don't expect your gear to go up right away. Like how I got this 98 and this is 98, right? I got rid of two pieces of gear and I'm pretty sure my CR stayed at 110 the whole time. You know, and that's okay. I know it's not going to necessarily go up right away. I still have a lot of 94 pieces for one, and a couple 95 pieces. So that's a part of my problem. And you know, you can't necessarily always expect your gear to jump up every time you put on a new piece of gear. It doesn't always necessarily work like that. Sometimes it will, other times it won't. So just be patient and continue to get gear to help more. Like whatever's your lowest piece of gear, that's the gear you want to go for if it drops. But just another situation that I forgot to mention. Say you got a piece of gear that say it was for one of these and they were both 100. Then I'll just go with, you know, whichever one. Like it doesn't matter. Like if everything was 94, then get whatever you want. Like, or it wasn't helping you at all, then go with the mark of victory, and or go with like plans so you can sell that to repair your gear, and or you can always just get a random piece of gear. It doesn't necessarily matter. You can always sell the gear or salvage it, whatever you want to do with it. So it's up to you. But let's go into this mission so I can help you guys further understand what I'm talking about when it comes to gear. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, we're here now in the Throne Dead mission, and basically the way it's just gonna go is, if you don't know the way the missions work, right, it's gonna be kind of flowing. Like they're gonna fly through this because for one, there's 188 and 186 in here, so you would think it's not gonna be hard, but the 188 disappears midway through, so that kind of makes it hard. And this group, as you can see, most of them are low leveled, so they don't really know, or if they do know, they aren't doing it necessarily right. So and there's no healer in here, so all of them die really quickly. I died too, but I've played this mission enough to where I know what I'm supposed to do. I really don't think they knew what they were supposed to do. One thing I should probably definitely mention that's like a big thing to everybody, and any mission you do, whether or not you queued up for it or you're in the league, please, please, please pick up your teammates. No matter what, pick up your teammates, okay? Risk your life to pick them up, especially if it's a healer or a troll. Or a tank. They're necessities to your team. They're absolutely necessary, and you should absolutely risk your life to pick them up, especially if you're a DPS. For the most part, a troll or DPS can do pickups. Healer should be more focused on healing, and tank, obviously you don't want to stop tanking the boss. And really, a troll should be focused on giving out constant power, but he also, most of the time, a troll will have a shield. So that's why, personally, like me, when I'm a troll, I'll pick up people as well because I have a shield, so I can pop the shield and pick them up without anyone having to be worried about getting down while they're trying to pick up that person. But so like right here, right, to defeat Ares, you have to defeat the Shade of Essence, and to do that, the tank is supposed to take it. So technically, this mission requires 2 tanks. Originally, when it first came out, it did at least, and everyone was kind of on the same like CR level, so you weren't like blowing straight through this because you're 186, and it didn't matter what CR, what you were supposed to do, you could just fly straight through this like it was nothing. So because of that, you're supposed to defeat the Shade of Essence, but I thought they didn't know what they were doing and everyone was dying. Like, I thought they didn't know what they were doing because no one was attacking the Shade of Essence, so I just sat there and I stopped playing, and then I ended up getting the Shade of Essence. But right now, I think I just got shoulders, and I think a ring, right? No, I got a ring or a weapon. Now my ring was 94 and my weapon was 95. Now, or no, they were both 95. Yeah, okay, they were both 95. And these are one of those things where it's like you consider, oh, which one should I get? Like, which one would be better to get since they're both the same thing? The thing is like I went with the ring because for one, my rings drop pretty quickly, and or they don't drop as much usually. When I've been playing, like I need a ring to raise my CR. It'll be like the last thing I need, and it rarely drops. As for weapons drop a lot for me, so I decided to go with a weapon because I was like, well, those drop, you know, frequently. Even though I could have probably brought a ring and it was probably like the cheapest thing for me to buy, I was like, I'm sure I'll find another weapon, because like even before my friend told me go with, like, I think I had a choice between a feet and weapon, and my friend said go with the feet, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go with the weapon. And then I ended up getting a higher weapon later on in that mission, which got me upset because I would have benefited by going with the feet and then getting the weapon later, but I didn't listen to my friend, so I missed out on that. So, you know, always consider, like, you know, if you've played enough missions or enough on-duty missions, consider um, what drops frequently for you. So as you see, one of them, was that one of the, yeah, one of the 180s, he just disappeared because he wasn't moving. I guess he didn't care about the mission anymore. Maybe his system glitched or whatever. But you got justified, so we're gonna end up beating the mission anyways. Honestly, the rest of the bosses are really easy. Ares is the hardest one because he's really the only one that you have to worry about the shade of essence. And like I literally sat here with like a 180 tank and like a whole bunch of 180 DPS who couldn't beat it just because they didn't know that you had to take out no, it was like two 180 DPS and a 180 tank, and we all kept dying because the rest were like 140 and 110 and stuff, and we couldn't beat it because they would not take out the shade of essence, which is really stupid. So once you get past that, you'll probably end up flying through this mission, especially if you have someone higher. So like here, I got two weapons that are higher than the weapon I have, but they're not weapons I like use. So I went to check because usually I like to use one-handed. So I was like, maybe I have one-handed, but I didn't spec my skill points into one-handed, sadly. So I decided not to get any of the weapons instead, and I'm pretty sure at least, and I got the mark of victory. So like I said before, if there's nothing that's gonna help you necessarily, like neither one of the gear that they gave you is gonna help boost your CR, or it's not gonna be useful for you, like you can't use it because you didn't spec skill points into that weapon, don't get the weapon and then go respec your skill points. Just get the mark of victory, because if you think about it, at the end of the day, when you build up enough marks of victory, you can buy stuff like a weapon or anything else. So don't worry about that. That's not important. Worry about whatever's gonna help you. Don't worry about, oh, let me get the weapon because I can respec to it. Unless there's a weapon you choose to use, like for me, I want to start using brawling, so I was gonna get brawling. But I also use two-handed sometimes, but I'm not going to at this time. So there's no point in me getting that right now. So it was no point in me getting one-handed because that's not really good for DPS, or unless you're like mental. And there's no point in me getting two-handed because I don't want to use that. I already respect in the brawling, and I'm not going to go respec because that's just stupid. I don't have to do that. I can instead get the mark of victory, which is going to later help me when I build up my marks of victory, so I can buy another piece of gear at a vendor. Now we beat the mission, and I don't remember what my last choices were. I think it was a soldier. It was between a soldier and something else. So this was a little bit easier to choose when I did this one because my soldiers are 94, and whatever the other piece was 95 maybe or higher. All I know is it was higher than 94, so I knew for sure I shouldn't get that. Unlike sorry, I don't know what happened there. Unlike earlier, when I had both 95 ring and a 95 weapon that I could, or a 98 weapon I could have gotten, but I had both 95, so I said let me not do that. So see here, I got a 98 hands and 98 shoulders, but my hands are already 100. So why did I get the hands? It's not gonna help me because my hands CR is already 100. So I need to go for something that's gonna help me, which would be my shoulders because they're 94. So I got my shoulders instead. But yeah, basically that's just how it goes, guys. Like, even though personally for me, I notice when I'm playing, rings drop more, so I got a ring instead of getting a weapon. So just kind of pay attention to whatever drops more, and base it on that, or whatever you want to buy at the vendor. Like, you can do it your own way. That's just how I personally do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. See ya.